Hey, y'all, come on in. You're here on a good day. It's our Dia de los Muertos day.
And we have our second Barbershop de los Muertos from Murphy and McNeil today.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays,
we are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all, come on in. Welcome to our barbershop. We're so glad you found us. If you happen to be here during one of our live premieres, why, join the live chat and meet the Whiff Pack, a cool group of folks hanging out from all over the world. They'd love to meet you, too.
They would. And for our mention today, we saw that Opus Brush was dropping some new handles, and Marcus was waiting on the website to grab this one, and we now have the Grinch brush to add to our den.
Craig knows how to melt my butter and making a Grinch shave brush homage. Are you kidding me with this? Look at the face, and then on the back it says the Grinch, and under here, look at this, you guys. Beautiful. And it says Opus Brush 2024.
Such fun little character.
This is the Manchurian knot. It's the fan knot, and I love this. When they come from Opus Brush, they do not have a gel tip on them. Some of the most luxurious shaves I have ever had have been with my Tiki brush. So, buddy, thank you for giving us our first Christmas brush ever. We love this. And keep your eyes on our Instagram account because Craig is going to join us soon for our In Conversation series, and we're going to do a brush giveaway for the brush he gave us back in June. I know we don't normally do giveaways on our Instagram lives, but
it's going to happen.
Here we go. There's going to be an exception. And what is our soap today?
So our soap today is the second of Barbershop de los Muertos, and this one is an homage as well to a Tom Ford for men, we think.
Constant viewers know that we are just emerging from our Tom Ford phase. It hit us hard and square between the eyes, starting with a Lost Cherry homage last year. So, y'all, I am excited for this Barbershop de los Muertos, and we're going to talk a little bit about our grandpas today. So let's meet the soap. All right, y'all. So from the sales page at murphyandmcneil.com.
John Perry and Rafa, in collaboration with Bill Graham of Murphy and McNeil, present to you Barbershop de los Muertos 2. For those that follow John and Rafa, you've seen their work, love for life, and love for this shaving hobby. It's a mutual respect from two guys who are similar yet so very different. The original Barbershop de los Muertos was a small release, yet very well received, and had many people wishing they got in on it. Now it's time for the sequel. Barbershop de los Muertos 2 is here to stay.
Featuring more amazing artwork from Rafa of Chicano design in a black jar wrapped in silver chrome labeling. The scent on this scent was inspired by Tom Ford for Men and is a remarkable fragrance featuring a citrus top, a floral pepper middle, anchored by a woody base that will appeal to the masses as well as those who appreciate sophistication in their fragrance choices.
Okay, this will be a ride, my
what
friends.
A detailed sales page. We love that.
We
And
do.
so far, I don't think we've been disappointed by any Tom Ford homages. These have been incredible. So, y'all, I am so excited to let this one out of the box. We started back in March collecting these, and this one came from the razor company.
Oh, it does. The invoice says March, so there
I
you
know,
go.
it really does. And there's some stickers in there. Wait a minute.
Y'all,
I don't mean to alarm you, but we do have some razor company stickers.
Hey,
We could actually wallpaper the bathroom in these. All right.
Okay,
and
let's
see.
They did mention
Beautiful.
that we've got this chrome action going on. I
Right.
see it now.
Woo!
They were not kidding. It's
Look
like a
at
mirror.
that. I love the barber
It might
pulls on
reflect
this
this
side.
studio lights.
I know,
Jeez
right?
Louise.
And what
Sorry to
base did
blind
we
you.
get? This is available in a couple of different bases.
Yeah, let's see this one. Which one? Well, this is another Aeon base.
There you go, y'all. The Aeon
Okay.
does not disappoint.
There's duck fat in here.
There's duck fat in here! Well, y'all, mysteries and wonders in the shaving world, and I want to ask you some questions about our new Tom Ford. Let's have our first impression! So, y'all, if you are here for the day, you just watched us review Barbershop de los Muertos 1, a fabulous homage, a beautiful, lovely, damper, woody, musky kind of scent on your shoulder.
And now we get to see the evolution to number 2 here, y'all.
Oh, back by popular demand. I love this. And a Tom Ford.
Okay.
Take
Strap
it
in, y'all.
Let's see what we get. I'm excited.
Okay.
Up there it is.
This is a pretty
Beautiful
pour.
white pour, the Aeon base.
Don't get too close. I'm guessing you'll be able to smell
I'm just
it.
going to
We'll
watch your eyes.
see. Okay. So Tom Ford for men. I will get to smell it now.
Here we go.
Oh, there there's different things in here.
Yeah? What are you getting?
I don't know if I immediately would have known it was a Tom Ford. At the end, maybe just a little.
Right.
But it's funny, like sometimes you smell it and you're like, oh, I know immediately. But this is not like one of those fruit take aparts one. This is like, it's called For Men.
Right.
And there's something in here about it being masculine, but not too dark.
Oh.
I immediately get like a burgundy color, like amber color in mind.
Right.
But it's almost like the spices, the leathers, the woods are all reimagined to create a whole new type of a scent somehow.
Ooh, because Tom Ford does the darks beautifully. You're like Ebony Fumé, Barrett.
And there's definitely a similar Fougere green side in here that I could say was in the first one. Like, that'd be the only commonality if I'm trying to get them to be friends.
Right.
There's something in the middle-ish that could be somewhat good together.
Love it. So what meets you first? What's at the door of this Barbershop de los Muertos?
It's not a musk, but it's like I get like a white stone or something. Like there's something crisp at the beginning that brings you in. It's refreshing. It's clean. It's definitely happening. And then it jumps into more of the, like, I'm not quite sure if you're leather. I'm not quite sure if you're a spice. I'm not quite sure if you're an oaky deep wood. I don't think it's a tobacco-y thing.
I'm a little oaky.
But it's like the brand new leathers. It's like the all fresh, clean sides
like a
of them.
cashmere, like new car kind of leather?
Maybe, but not, it doesn't take over the scent, where sometimes it would. But I think it's just in there. Just that little masculine, like, new shoes kind of thing or something.
Now, they did warn us a little that this was kind of a citrusy thing. Are you getting citrus?
Oh, if you hadn't said citrus, I don't think I would have gotten it. There's something keeping it brighter, but I don't get it. Not like how we got orange out of the other one. It's different here.
That's so funny, because when we opened Black Magic last week, all we got was citrus, and then we looked at the scent notes, and it was there's no citrus in this. So, wow. So they're telling us there's citrus in this, but that's not what you're getting.
I'm not. And it might be more on the brighter, crisper side, like more of a lemony thing or something. Like I'm not getting the orange vibe.
Right. No,
whatever this citrus is different. It's brighter.
But maybe a lemony sense.
Maybe. Just something to keep it on that brighter, clean side, but I'd have to pull it out.
Right.
It's not something that I'm finding right away.
Now, strong personality gonna lead the way scent, or more of a best friend sidekick scent on your shoulder?
Ooh. This one's a little more dapper, maybe. So I feel like you could wear this one more in a suit, like if you had to get dressed up.
Right.
I think there's something more in this one, like the Tom Ford side of this homage is coming out, where the other one was a little more versatile. I feel like you could wear it, all day, every day, or, to getting dressed up too. This one, I feel like it's just a little more of that dapper, more bougie side coming through.
Because see, with Tobacco Vanilla, I almost feel like that is so strong a character that I'm like supporting it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like it comes in the room first, and then a nice, relaxed Tobacco Vanilla version of Marcus then enters the room after that. But sometimes, like I think Dia de los Muertos 1 was so beautifully like a sidekick. It's there to compliment you. It's there to fill in the gaps. It's there to like let you be the strong personality, and then it was there to support everything that you are rather than the other way around. Where does this kind of land on that number line?
It gives you your backbone. So if you were trying to be confident in your suit or something, like I feel like something in this scent would just be like giving you that little extra you got it kind of thing.
It's a great way to say it. Well, what better duty does a best friend have to make sure you're ready for whatever
So I think you'd pick this up if you're like, I need to be looking fresh and I need to be confident. I need to be on my game. Like this is a good get your game on kind of scent.
Now, from the moment I started to smell our Tom Fords, there was just something in the balance that was a little bit magical. Do you kind of get that here? Because you mentioned you may not have even recognized this as a Tom Ford.
Yes, and I think because of the complexity, but how well that they're intersecting scent-wise. But that's where I feel like it's more like that mastery art of the Tom Ford side. Like, it's just so well blended, it's hard to pull things out.
Right. And y'all, this came from kind of the beginnings of the Tom Ford workshop, because this came around in 2007. So it was before Lost Cherries, before the single scent note ones that he did, right?
I don't want to say it's streamlined, but it's much more of a men's cologne type of a scent versus where Tom Ford got a little more brave as things went. I can see why this would be like more of the main market audience he's trying to get to. That this would fit in that lane.
And y'all, there are a dozen perfumers that work for the house of Tom Ford, and each of them have an army of assistants and apprentices under them. So it's not like Tom Ford himself came up with all of these, but he did put the right people in place. So Walt Disney didn't draw Snow White, but he put the right people there to do it. It's kind of what these houses do, what the fine fragrances do, is they not only create the best fragrances, but they put together the best teams of people to help make them. So not it's always like exactly made by Tom Ford, but kind of in that style, in that complexity.
So if this is more the original, like groundbreaking kind of a sense for Tom Ford, I can see why. Like that would be what, if you went into a Nordstrom's or something and you were looking for for men.
Right.
Like that, it totally fits that category.
And we do know by our small but growing collection of Murphy and McNeil soaps that they choose some fantastic homage oil.
Which is how we usually find out about homages. Right. We should know.
We get texts. All right, here we go.
Okay, no more spelling, Marcus. See if your Tom Ford is going to give you
for men. All right, here we go. Whoa. Well, you know what's funny? I am struck by how similar these are.
There's a part that's close.
But how different they are.
Mm-hmm. So they should be in the same series. Like, I get why that's there.
Oh,
I don't know how they picked, but it totally works.
There is just something in the woods that isn't here, and there's something in the citrus that is. But I think these are maybe about 60% the same.
They're good cousins, let's say.
Hold on. This is something you only find here in the Barbershop Duet. This is the second, third, or fourth cousins with. All right, on 3. 1, 2. Okay, right. And then
we'll switch our change up.
Oh, okay. Okay, what's your over-under? How similar are these percentage-wise? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 90. Where do we land on the 10s?
I'm going to say like 25, 30.
I'm saying 50.
Oh,
okay, so yeah, there you go. But that's what's very cool about this is like everything that's different is what's amazing. Yeah. And sometimes we have learned that one of the ways your nose will learn a scent note is by smelling 2 soaps where one has it and one doesn't. And all of a sudden your brain goes, oh, that thing I had no idea how to process, that is oak moss. Oh, right. Like
that's how it's being used.
So we love it when we get a couple of soaps that are up to 50% the same because it's in their differences. One of the maxims of Stephen Sondheim is God is in the details. So I do love how similar these are. This has a little bit more of a softer, creamier balance. There is something almost a little bit sort of leathery camphorous in there that's a little bit squinchy to the nose, but being used to connect the notes between the middle and the base, where this is this little bit more a troweled, smooth rainbow.
That's what I was trying to say. Right? Like, it's just been reconstructed so well, it's almost hard to pull apart.
Right. Whoa, this is wild. You know what? Also, this reminds me a little bit of Orfeo. Do you remember that one?
I forgot about that one.
Back toward the beginning? Kind of like what Joel's
right. Was, right? I don't want to. That's why I didn't want to use mainstream because that felt like a bad word. But it is when you think of a masculine cologne, this would be something in that category you would kind of put in your head,
and a very modern one. So I know this goes back to 2007, but y'all, this is clearly the scent that launched 1,000 Scents because my friend Joel, my business, wears something very similar to this and was similar to Orfeo by Jose and Horbana. But I think the difference is that this one is so nuanced that like you don't look for any particular notes because the personality it's creating is so lovely. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe this is a little bit more of a best friend sidekick scent and lets you be the personality. And this is a little bit more sharing the duties of like, hey, if you don't know the end of that joke, I'm going to have your punchline win for you. That's kind of what this is. Oh, it's so nice.
What's making it masculine? Because I can't figure it out. Is it more of a leather thing? Is it an amber thing? Like there's something that is very different here.
Right. And it's more of a bookworm masculine kind of an idea.
Like a leather
this
bag.
Is not your running, jumping, climbing trees, neckerchief on a horse kind of a guy. This is a little bit more of your clever, a little bit more of maybe your scientist, a little bit more
That's
of
why
your...
I got the suit image, I think. Just that put together kind of side.
It's not all the way to professor. It's not that nerdy. There is something adventurous to this. This is somebody in mission control. Right? Like Houston, we have a problem.
I'm with you.
That's what this smells
like. I would trust that guy.
This would calm me if I was on the way to the moon and I sprung a leak.
Smell this. You'd want to hang out with this guy. He'd have your back.
Wow. This is more citrusy. This has a little bit tinier of a sour edge, where this one is more of a sweet edge, right?
I do feel like this is more the typical masculine scent. This one's a little more adventurous, like on the scent profile, of where you would put like masculine to feminine.
Right.
This one's definitely more on the masculine end. This one's a little less. It just has more a little adventure, the darker side, the brighter sides, the citrusy things coming through.
And this one is a little less familiar to my nose, a little bit newer things to discover. And this one seems like it's almost like the base that 2 or 3 of the most popular colognes in the last 10 years almost started here and sort of branched out slightly.
I don't think I knew anyone that wore this, but I can feel where in the early 2000s this would have had a place for sure.
Yes. And this goes all the way to like almost the sense of like a gray flannel, and then that's where it stops. So it's a really warm scent, but it doesn't go all the way to that kind of a musk. It kind of stops at the woods and the citruses. And you know what? Hold on. Let's never talk about that citrus because I think you're right.
I could not find it. I was getting more of like an amber color.
This is just a little bit, a hint of a lemon with everything sour and bitter taken out. So it's funny because I do remember reading, if there's anything about this that we knew, it was that it was like very citrus forward.
Oh, funny.
I'm going to declare shenanigans.
Yeah.
This is not a citrus forward thing for me.
Fruit, like, something happened to the fruit. It's not something that you can recognize.
It's funny you said that because listen, smell this and think about leather.
Okay.
But it's only a very particular part of the cashmere. The rest of it's been taken out, so you wouldn't recognize that heart as leather. And I think that's where the secret sauce of this is. It's a part of a leather, and that's where they start. Do you kind of sense that?
Kind of, but I think then it switches to me for like a fougere kind of thing.
Yes.
So it's like right on the cusp of those two scents.
Right. That's what brings the nose in, and then it turns. And that is the secret for me. I think what Lost Cherry, why that is so beguiling to me, because he took something about the cherry, a very hidden part of it that your nose has to look for in a real cherry.
Right.
And he took everything else away. So for me, that's what I'm getting with this, with like a gorgeous leather scent. So imagine the most fabulous, soft, broken in leather jacket you can imagine, or your grandpa's comfy chair. And then everything leathery and animalic about it is taken away. Everything brown, everything beige is taken away from the scent. And you're left with just the heart of that warm leather spice. So it's not even going to be a leather you recognize, but you're going to recognize part of it. Almost as if you heard a subtle part of a melody to a song, but you couldn't quite place the rest of it.
Yeah.
That's what that is for leather for me.
It's somewhat familiar, but just enough to not be.
Oh, and Elaine Stritch would like in. That's how you know a good scent. The dog comes over and she's just had her bath, so she wanted to show that off. Do you kind of sense that that's where it is? That it is like the most beautiful part alone of a leather jacket. Yep. And then other things have come in around it to just sort of give it its own personality and identity.
Right.
Have I cracked a code?
I think so. But it's funny because I'm trying to think, because most of our ones that are more leather forward, that still is a different type of scent to me.
Right, 100%. Well, it's almost like if there are 9 parts of the leather scent note, this is only using 2 of them. Does that make sense? And it's not enough for you to even sense it as leather, because there aren't enough of those 9 notes for it to come together. But your nose is like, wait a minute, of those 2 notes, those are familiar. And would you like to introduce this glorious hardware of yours?
Yes, this is my custom set from Amelia and Gardner over at AKA Brushworks, and it is just a real friend here. My first custom anything.
Ooh, y'all, this is a harder soap. This has got a bite back to my stick. I had to do a little bit of work here with this. All right, y'all, so we're going to run some water a little bit over that soap, but we're going to let it kind of pool at the bottom of the bowl, and the brush is just going to kind of start to pull the soap onto its bristles. That's where we're really going to build this lather from. Now, one little tip from the Barbershop Duet. Turn your brush as you lather. Go one way, go the other way, but then spin the brush in your hand a quarter turn and do it again. Turn the brush, do it again. Helps introduce more of those bristles to the soap and at different angles. And then once the soap has been loaded onto the bristles, that's when I dive back in and get the rest of the water going, because now I'm building my lather from the bristles, not from the bottom of the bowl.
It's funny because you read Dia de los Muertos, and you immediately think it's going to be a little darker for some reason.
I know. I was kind of
and
expecting smoke and incense today, weren't you?
Nope, not happening.
Not at all. Beautiful, clean, fresh, citrusy, dapper, woody.
Right?
Ooh.
I know we never talk about leather, but look at this, y'all. I didn't take much time.
No,
but
look how tiny the bubbles are. You can see into the lather.
I hope you can see it on camera, but that iridescence is wonderful.
I love that. All right, y'all. This is something you will only find on the Barbershop Duet. This is the You've Got an Friend in Me with. On 3, 1, 2. There you go. Whoa!
Yeah.
the pepper in this is insane. I've never smelled like that.
That must be pepper. I
always see pepper as a scent note, but I've never actually been like, that's like pepper forward?
Yeah.
Woo! Y'all, talk about effervescence. It feels like it's carbonated.
Yep. Okay, and now I don't get as much leather. I don't know what happened.
Whoa. And I was going to say, do you smell how like the leather and the pepper have now come together?
They kind of disappeared into each other.
What a great way to describe this. If you could take the heart of a soft leather jacket and pepper it with a lovely aromatic black peppery scent. And y'all, pepper's an aromatic. So if you are going to use it to cook, get your pan hot and crack your pepper into it first. The aroma that will come off of that pan is unmatched. You wouldn't think, but it works beautiful. And I
didn't believe until I did it.
That
it's true.
sense here. Like I can get that pepper in a hot pan sense. This is fabulous. And what an adventurous scent.
Okay, I'm so curious if we have any of these scent notes right. I feel like we're going to have to look at this list and see what Tom Ford has brought to us, my
friends.
Can
we please see a wine list? All right, y'all. So back to the sales page at murphyandmcneil.com. Here are our top notes.
Citrus notes.
Love it.
Lemon leaf. Okay,
That's
different.
how they did it.
Yeah.
It's a lemon. And hold on. Lemon leaf is fabulous because I grew up with a lemon tree in my backyard that produced fruit 365 days a year. It's California. It wasn't the lemons. It was the lemon leaves. And my mom would use them and stuff all the time. And if you just grabbed one and cracked it, and they do crack, it is one of the best smelling citruses you've ever smelled, and it's not exactly the fruit.
Yeah.
So I love that they used lemon leaf in
Genius.
here and then married it with
mandarin and bergamot. So there are a good chunk of citruses in here. I gotta tell you.
Tom Ford doing the familiar with the unfamiliar, and I love that. That's part of what gives this its
But if you
charm.
smell for the lemon leaf, I
know.
totally get it.
I know.
Crazy.
It's got the stem in there.
It does. Like it is right when you snapped it open. It's
Right.
that scent.
And I was kind of hoping for a Dia de los Muertos day to get a few little waves from my mama. And this is
There you
definitely
go.
one because the window to the family room in the kitchen was right behind the lemon tree. Like you couldn't see the window. So the pool was on the other side of the lemon tree. So whenever we were in the pool, my mom would open the window and say, "Come to the talking lemon tree." And that was just what her little cute way of like doing it.
brilliant, 'cause
So
she
I
couldn't
love
see
that
you,
there's
but you
lemon
could.
leaf in here, right? That's very cool.
See, there you go. Our little whisper.
And then moving on.
To our middle notes. Bergamot.
More bergamot.
More.
Hey, hold
More.
on. So you're doubling up on your freaky lime here, folks. And then in most of our beloved barbershops, we find
Basil.
there it is.
Then we have ginger.
Y'all, that's what's giving it that beguiling spice for me. Because ginger can get hot and spicy. If you've ever
Right.
accidentally gotten some raw, it's like,
Yay!
woo! That's the sense that I'm getting with this. And I love how they're using it. So it doesn't have to go too sweet. And
Right.
then,
And then another leaf. Violet leaf.
love it.
Okay. Orange blossom. And
Wait a minute.
Wait, but that's next to
I know. Look at this one.
grapefruit blossom.
That's how they're getting grapefruit in here. Y'all, it's a Trojan horse. It's coming by means of their blossoms. Makes perfect sense to me. Lemon leaf, orange and grapefruit blossom. I love that. Oh, and then
And another
we got
leaf.
more leaves. This is just the leafy soap.
I guess so. Tobacco leaf.
Love it.
And then here we go. Black pepper.
Hot to the
Definitely
pan.
here.
Y'all, put my flag in that. And then, y'all, your base notes.
Okay, we've got. Oh, here's the amber. I was
That's
looking
where
for.
I'm getting the powdery barbershop sense of this. There is this beautiful little sweet charmer hiding under the surface. And it's that. It's the amber.
It's funny because now I understand why my brain was getting green in mind. And
Right.
it's because of all those leaves that are in here.
Right.
Sneaky.
100%.
Okay,
And then,
cedarwood.
love that.
Patchouli.
Patchouli, and not in the sense that they used to use it at San Francisco State University. This
Nope.
is a lovely, beautiful, lighter
And
patchouli.
then some other greens here. Vetiver, oak
There you
moss,
go.
and then, leather wood. So not leather, but leather wood, which is why it's not the one we're thinking.
Yeah, I'm getting way too inappropriate visions of things happening to cows. What is leather wood? And cypriol to round things out. And some may recognize this fragrance as an homage to Tom Ford for Men. No affiliation. Whoa.
Okay.
You know what I love? This is Tom Ford, for sure.
Yeah.
But in a much different way than I would have been expecting. I love this, how different it is from the other ones that we do know, from the tobacco vanilla, from like the Lost Cherry. This is a country mile
Right.
from those.
And I do still feel like it's got a nice, confident vibe to it. There's
Right.
something bright. There's something, all the spices that are coming through, even just the pepper alone, adding
Right.
all of that other stuff. Like, there is a very, like, put together vibe
Right.
I'm getting, but you still can't figure out exactly how those scents are making that
Right.
come through.
And you know how when Bruno Mars came on the scene for like 10 years, everybody kind of sounded like Bruno Mars? This has kind of got that
Yeah.
sense of like, this was the OG. And I've got a few shaving soaps in there that I know are owing Tom Ford some money because they smell a lot like this in the best of ways.
Right.
And then they all branch out into their own personalities. But you can kind of tell when somebody gets something foundational, so
Yep.
new and so right,
Right.
that you've got to just kind of riff on that. That's what this is. And I think we can trace it back to 2007 and that original release of Tom Ford for Men, because I don't think I've smelled anything like this before that.
Nope.
I think that's where it came from. And to see how this coats the face, we're going to have to go a little deeper. So it's Dia de los Grandpas on the Barbershop Duet today.
And my grandpa was my co-pilot, so every time I was driving around, as long as I could have my cell phone safe, I would be able to call him and check in on him. Or if I didn't have a long drive home and I just wanted to call and talk to him, it would be fun. He would always check in, see how many miles is on the car, what have you been doing, and it was just our nice way to check in. And I didn't realize, until he had passed, like that was the part that I think I missed the most. So I have one of his blue hats that rides in my back seat with me, so he can still have blue rides with me. I could talk to him.
funny because mine was my adventure partner too. He was kind of known for like very impromptu and late at night trips far away. So like if I ever got a wild hair in college, I would just drive to Stockton from San Francisco, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, beep the horn because the front door was always open because it was Stockton, California, and it was hotter than the sun. Play the horn. He'd come to the door. Hey, what are you doing here? You want to go to the lake? Yeah. And he would just open the door and get in the car, going up to Lake Tahoe. I'd be like, you're going to tell Nana? She'll figure it out. This is long before cell phones. That was my grandfather.
That's funny. It is fun. Like, I was very lucky to grow up with 2 sets of grandparents my whole life. And they were both supportive on both sides. But it was fun having the vibe of like 2 different grandparents and their personalities to come through. Like, each of my grandpas were very different, but they also had very similar sides of like, you know, teaching manners and certain things. And there was a rule and an order of doing things. And I really am grateful for having them in my life so long that I do carry that with me a lot.
You know why I love your grandpa? Her grandpa taught us how to play Mexican train dominoes, and we had a giant marathon game the very first night. Well, at the very end of the night, as he's putting it in the box, he looks at me and he realizes, wait, did you win one? And I said, oh, no, not tonight, but I'm new at it. That broke his heart. And he
Couldn't have it.
No, hold on. And he started to take the dominoes back
Even
out.
though he was tired, you knew he was tired.
It was like midnight, and he was like, no, let's play till you win.
Right, that's how it goes in our house. Everyone gets a turn.
What a sweet guy. So I did win the next time, but I did not let him keep playing. I was like,
he really did like you, though. I loved being able to just go help my grandma in the kitchen and listen to the 2 of them talk in the living room. Like, they got along so well. Yeah. Especially the little black dog. That was
that
the
is
other
true.
part.
He forgot her name was Lainey toward the end, but he would call her, where's the little black dog?
Where's my little black dog?
So it's pretty simple, y'all. Just be Sarah's grandfather enlisting in the military for Korea. And when they tell you you're going to go to Alaska and you tell them, I don't want to go to Alaska because it's too cold.
Like North Dakota.
They're going to laugh in your face and send you to Korea, and you're going to get your own. So head over to murphyandmcneil.com where you'll find this and a bunch of other stuff I want right now. Well, I've had my shave, y'all, with Barbershop de los Muertos, too. And y'all, I think what I love best about this gives me the sense of where Tom Ford started, that first foundational sense of what's masculine and fresh and clean and current. And I think there are hints of this in almost everything from him that we have smelled after this. What a great homage this is, y'all. And the base, fabulous. It does not get too frothy. It stays sort of creamy and slick on my face. The slickness, a little bit unmatched in certain ways. Loved this, and I can't wait for my next one.
Welcome to Messages.
Hey, y'all. So for our November giveaway, we thought it absolutely apropos to offer a $20 gift card to Murphy and McNeil to our lucky winner. And all you have to do to be eligible is send us an email here to WeSentYou@theBarbershopDuet.com so that we can get back to you. It's the only way we communicate about our giveaways. And then check back here the first week of December, not only for our Christmas episodes, but to see Alexa help us choose our lucky winner on the show.
Best of luck. Do you think your grandpa would play this?
You know what I was thinking about that?
Yeah?
I think that generation was more about the aquavelvas.
Yeah.
I think they were more about the medicines. I think what happened here, just after the turn of the century, was I think some new things were introduced, some new balances, some new foundations of colognes. I think they were more about the sweeter things, the old spices and the Seaforths and kind of those things.
Right.
Those were the sense of my grandpa.
But if I could have a time warp and have both of my grandparents smell this, I'm curious. I feel like both of them would actually enjoy it for different reasons.
If he was 35 today...
Right.
100%.
I think they would both, because my other grandpa was a pilot, so he was always more in like a button down and stuff. And my other grandpa was more in the garage working on the cars and quarter inch and things. But I think for both of them, they could totally enjoy this.
You know, we kind of said that the first one was more of the working man's barbershop. And this might be a little bit more of the flying man's barbershop. So we've got both of your grandparents covered
We
here,
just might. I think that problem solved. There you go. I don't know who the third one's for. Maybe one of yours.
Hey, well, I wonder these are so similar. I wonder if these are a little bit of coming attractions for our next episode, or if the third one's going to be completely different. Well, there is one way to find out.
Yeah, we are lucky. There's another one coming. So don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
It's next, and you'll smell way better just watching this.